Look, I'm not even gonna start this video off with a clarifying statement. You see the title. Hey, and to all the white knights, nobody's gonna let you hit, bro. And to all the blue-haired freaks, if I told you look like some of these video game characters, your ass would be offended. Because here's the reality no one really wants to say out loud. Ugly characters do not sell games. Attractive ones do. They always have, and they always will. And don't act like this is political or part of the culture war. See, this is really just what happens when you allow humans to do as they naturally please. Like the great philosophers Ray Shrimmered once said, I ain't got no type. Bad bitches is the only thing that I like.
Get this freak show on the road.
See, this video is about escapism. Games are not real life. The characters, they're not real. They don't have real feelings. They don't have opinions. Games are fantasy. They're exaggeration. They're power trips. And power fantasies don't look average. They don't look ugly. They don't look like a Walmart crack fiend your ass saw at 3 a.m. while you were buying a pint of ice cream. Nobody boots up God of War thinking, man, I really wish Kratos looked more like Ethan Klein for realism's sake. Because yes, that would be realistic. Humans are not Greek gods. We have random hair growth on our bodies. We have cellulite. Many of us have super low sex appeal. And because of that, the game would be dog shit. I get to see ugly motherfuckers all day when I leave the house, bro. I don't want to go see them when I hop on a game. I mean, let's go look at 2B from Nier Automata. Let's not pretend her popularity is purely about the game's deep philosophical meanings and themes. I mean, yes, those are a part of it. The game is written exceptionally well, but let's not lie to ourselves. 2B is stylish, hyper-feminine, sexualized, confident, and visually appealing. And guess what? Both men and women love playing her. Just look at the popularity of her cosplays at all these conventions. Bro, Nier Automata came out almost 10 years ago, and I still see women dressed as her like every week. That's insane levels of popularity. And why is this? Because she feels awesome to play. She's a badass warrior that exudes femininity and sexuality, but in a respectful manner. Many women love her because she feels like an idealized version of themselves. In a fantasy world, many women would happily choose to look exactly like 2B. And see, that's the entire point of escapism. World of Warcraft accidentally disproved the whole women want to look realistic point years ago. Because when players were given choices, what exactly happened? Female blood elves? Everywhere, bro. Female night elves? Everywhere on the Alliance. Female Tauren though? Rare. Dwarves? Basically a cryptid. And no, Blizzard didn't force anyone's hand. There was no gun to anyone's head. Players overwhelmingly chose the feminine and sexualized female characters disproportionately over all the masculine-built female character models. Blood Elf and Night Elf females have extremely feminine bodies and stances, and their armor looks great on them. While Tauren and Dwarf females are built like fucking Danny DeVito and look like a post-menopause granny with a bad hip dressed in her retirement home nightgown. See, no one wants to escape the real world where they're built like shit just to go into a fantasy world where their character is still built like shit. Now, here's the thing no one really wants to admit. And this is why the question of should characters be attractive really isn't even an opinion. Factually, characters should be attractive, and here's why. In real life, men and women both constantly do things to increase their attractiveness. And this isn't just like a Western or American thing. Across all cultures, humans do things to increase their appearance and desirability. Because you know what we're all hardwired for? Reproduction. So you constantly see people put loads of effort into the gym, their makeup, hair, clothes, their nails. Multi-billion-dollar industries literally exist around increasing your attractiveness. And you know what trend never happens with people? With the exception of some mentally ill neon purple-haired woman looking like Dennis Rodman with nose rings in and built like Ferdinand the Bull? Most of the time, no one wakes up and thinks, bro, how can I make myself less attractive today? How can I increase my chopped score to the maximum? See, people naturally don't aim downward. We all aim upward. Looking attractive isn't some social conditioning or false societal pressure. It's literally human biology. So when these same people jump into a fantasy world, why would they suddenly want ugliness? Think about a motherfucker having a New Year's resolution to lose weight, start a skincare routine, or be happier and smile more, making more friends. Then they log into a game and play a depressed, mentally disturbed, obese character with a shitty personality that they'd never want to be friends with in 1,000 years. Bro, that's not appealing at all. Now, some idiots will try to convince you that fat, ugly girls are actually attractive, and if you don't think so, then you're the problem. But see, here's the real problem. Attraction isn't a moral stance, it's a biological response. Remember, as humans, our eyesight is our best sense. We can't smell like a deer or a rabbit, we can't hear like a dog, but we can see pretty damn well. And our brains can pick up on extremely minor and precise movements like micro expressions in faces. So our brains instantly sort things into appealing, neutral, or repulsive. It's just survival wiring. Obesity, sickness, deformities, those all trigger discomfort cross-culturally. You don't need to be taught that. Actually, you have to be taught to suppress it, which is why we're constantly going on these large-scale campaigns to try to unlearn people on their distaste for the previously mentioned. We constantly have to teach kids that it's not acceptable to make fun of people for their deformities or their weight or their ugliness, because it's natural to dislike and be turned off by seeing these things. But we suppress them socially because we're civilized people and there's really no benefit to just drag someone's ass through the mud for their appearance. Let people live as they choose. And I'm not arguing that fat, ugly, deformed people shouldn't feel safe. I'm saying fantasy worlds shouldn't exist specifically to suppress instincts. Because fantasy exists to indulge these instincts in a safe manner. And that's why Kratos is hypermasculine and Eve from Stellar Blade is hyperfeminine. See, heroes look like ideals, not averages. Superheroes are called super for a reason, not average. Nobody wants to go watch Jonah Hill play Average Man versus Batman. We want to see Henry Cavill pop up on the scene with a physique none of us can ever attain. Then destroy the bad guy, be awesome, get the dream girl, and the movie ends. If realism was the goal, games would suck because guess what? Our lives kinda suck. Life is hard and grueling and painful half the time. Bro, just let our fantasies escape that. And then you got the people that just love saying, oh, but bro, this game's more realistic. Okay, you want realism. Then let's make Kratos 5'9" and have a dad bod. Batman should be broke from New York State taxing him out the ass. And Geralt should be covered in acne from being so damn filthy constantly. But no, see, realism's selective. When realism makes characters uglier, suddenly it's super important. But whenever realism makes characters weaker or less impressive or more boring, then it has to be ignored. Because this isn't about realism, it's about pushing narratives and making a vocal minority feel better about themselves. Because see, some miserable ass women kinda have a hard time shitting on real girls like Gal Gadot or Margot Robbie because society would turn it around on them, calling them bullies and body shamers. But video game characters being fake allows these miserable ass women to just shit on these characters with no repercussions. See, as a person, it's kinda hard to say, Margot Robbie shouldn't be so cute. It's like, bro, that's just her face. But it's very easy to say, 2B needs to be fatter or uglier, because one's a real person, the other one's a fake video game character. Now, I do want a quick clarification before somebody fucking crashes out. Unattractive characters work, and they should stay in games and media. On a sliding scale, you have attractive, neutral, unattractive, and then purposefully ugly. I'm not claiming every character should be an 8 out of 10 in attractiveness. I'm not even saying a 6 out of 10. I'm specifically talking about the game devs purposely creating characters that are confusing to look at because their body proportions are uncanny. Their faces look 50% male, 50% female, 50% troll, 73% Doug Trio, and 100% what the fuck am I looking at, bro? Because some of these freaky ass characters literally break immersion. Players immediately feel it and they bounce. Here's the final point, bro, and this one really ends the argument. If beauty didn't matter to people, the beauty industries wouldn't exist. Attractive characters wouldn't dominate all player stats, and sex appeal would never sell copies. But guess what? It does. Every single time. Because markets don't care about feelings, they care about behavior. And players, they've already voted. Now, like I said, this video is not about hating on anyone. It's not even about real people. It's about games doing what they've always done. Escapism works best when it leans into ideals and not lectures. Ugly doesn't sell, y'all. Beauty does. And pretending otherwise does not change reality, it just makes games worse and makes you look like a damn fool. But listen, with that, thank you for making it to the end of the video. Like always, stay safe out there, and I'm gonna see y'all next time.